So how would you assure somebody that your practice, and we're talking just about your practice, is very, very safe?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many answers to that question.
Sure.
One is just blankly for all chiropractors, we're very highly regulated. There's extensive education that goes into becoming a chiropractor, extensive testing to have the privilege of being licensed. And that continues every year with continuing education and standards that we're expected and want to meet. And so I feel safe, with my colleagues, that they know what they're doing and they're highly trained in what they're doing. Now with my practice, there's so many different techniques and approaches with how to balance the spine or how to adjust the spine. And, back to even one of your earlier comments about chiropractic being about backs, I understand that because why people, perceive that, because that's our prime focus, right? Mm-hmm. In terms of the source of starting there at that foundation, the foundation of the spine, the foundation of the nervous system is kind of the pinnacle piece of chiropractic. And so in my practice, I don't do a lot of manual adjusting, which is what most traditional chiropractors, traditional pictures of what chiropractors do mm-hmm. is the adjustments that might create a pop or a crack. I do occasionally, with permission, from my practice members, if I feel like it's necessary. And I don't choose this other technique because I feel that is unsafe at all. I just have always decided I'm going to approach my patients in the way that I receive care. And I don't get a lot of manual adjusting for myself. Mm-hmm. That being said, I think the biggest key with all practitioners is communication. And before anyone gets adjusted, there should be an extensive exam. There should be that history taken. There should be that rapport build before that even happens. There should be a communication of what that chiropractor is going to do. I go through that with my patients and explaining, what they can expect. Usually my communication with them is, you're going to think I'm not doing enough, because mm-hmm. they're expecting it to be this, that they're, especially if they're in pain. I think often as humans, we think the magnitude of the intervention has to match mm-hmm. the magnitude of the pain, mm-hmm. which is not true in all cases. And so I think the biggest key is that you have that communication from the get-go. And I would never adjust somebody if there was hesitation or if they were unsure. And so, if there's ever someone that just needs to even they're still a little bit nervous about it, I'll ask them their questions, I'll address them. And then if they're still nervous, I'll just say, you know what, think on it. I'm not going anywhere. Your information's here. Let's, if you have more questions, go home, talk to your spouse, talk to, you can come back in, ask more questions if you want, but making sure that person feels okay in the first place is, I think, the most important piece.